A very quick run through of the proceedings. In the beginning of the day, we talked about the fact that cyber weapons and ICT-EC are a reality, and we're already kind of behind the curve, and we need to start scaling up as soon as possible. And these are not futuristic. Cyber weapons are a reality right now. And there are cases that have happened where instead of using conventional bombing, cyber weapons have been used to take out and annihilate strategic assets. We also talked about the fact that the same weapons can be used to bring great harm to both civilian and military equipment. And we talked about why the industry is challenged in being in the cutting edge of technology, which is why during the session today, during the proceedings today, the suggestion was that can we start with a baseline technology which may not be world-class, but we can start adopting it with the hope that pretty soon it will be world-class and better than world-class. And that was a proposal that came from quite a few speakers in today's session. There are also views on what is required for industry to invest in new technologies, and we had various head of industry, various captains in the industry who came and talked about the need for support from the government. One of the straight lines that were articulated was that without government support, the industry will find it extremely difficult to move forward. And we had very passionate speakers in the industry who harped on various aspects of why there is a need to have a joint roadmap, a need to have a collaborative effort, and that was resonated from both the military side and from the government side. And then there was an issue of all the stakeholders need to be involved, and General Kochhar himself mentioned that we need to have not just the Indian military and the domestic industry, but also the academia, the startups, and all other constituents of the society who can help in having a sustainable ecosystem which can produce the kind of technologies required by the military. Therefore, there is a need to have a shared roadmap for military technology, and that's what came out of the sessions today, which allows industry to invest for long term. When they're bringing in high-risk investment, they should have visibility to what will come out of that investment, and it should be a longer-term investments. Allows academia to have directed research. What typically happens in academia is that research happens in one single area, and when the flavor changes, they change. The students change, the research scholars change. So the whole repository of knowledge that's got built up evaporates. And without a roadmap, even the academia cannot really participate and aid the ambitions of the military. It also should allow global players to form appropriate partnerships. As General Kochhar has been continuously saying, it will be a pipe dream if we can think that we start from a white paper and build everything over again. It has to be a collaborative effort, and there has to be appropriate collaborative mechanisms put into place to ensure that the collaboration is for the benefit of all the other stakeholders. And allow startups to propose and develop innovative solutions. As the gentleman had said right in the beginning, where do we get the tactical advantage out of ICT and EC? And that tactical advantage will come in only if we get cutting-edge innovative ideas, possibly coming from startups, possibly coming from the young kids sitting over there from IIT Delhi, possibly from the academia. So if we do not have a vision which will incorporate the startups to be part of the joint collaborative roadmap, they will miss out on the tactical edge that we might get from ICT-EC. And finally, it allows military to access solutions in a dependable, sustainable, and ultimately in a cheaper manner. And if you see the picture of those two boats, they were developed by a firm based out of Gurgaon, absolutely local firm, two sets of boards which allows the NSOC that the General Kochhar was mentioning to be operational. Without those two key boards being developed from ground up, we would not have the entire capability of the NSOC being there. And these are all developed indigenously here, probably a few kilometers from the place that we're sitting in. So given this background and given the discussion that we had for the rest of the day, what comes out is a possible institutional mechanism, and that's what General Kochhar was also alluding to, perhaps, is if we see the stakeholders, the ones in the orange, the saffron, are institutions and stakeholders which come under the Ministry of Defence, which is the Ministry of Defence itself, and the ICT requirements of the Army, Navy, and Air Force. And DRDO pitching in with developing the critical technologies. But there are also non-critical technologies which are required to be developed for which we would need industrial research entities to be involved, such as the research entities from the Tatas, the Mahindras, and so on and so forth. Academia to be involved, foreign collaborators to be involved to bring in the technologies which we do not have right now, domestic conglomerates, again the large houses that we talked about, the incubation centers, which have many in this country but they do not have direction, they do not know what is required for the military, and we help them participate in the initiatives that we are laying out. Startups, and startups need not just be startups out of college, but even startups within existing organizations, within MSMEs. They can also have startups which are focused on military requirements, and we aid those startups, which also means can we have venture capitalists as part of this initiative, can we have financing as part of this initiative, and we also have other ministries as stakeholders. And therefore the white part, the white gap, is some kind of an autonomous entity which is able to bring together all of these stakeholders and align them to a roadmap which will eventually bring to fruit what we are all talking about as of now, which will hopefully fructify everything that we've been discussing since this morning. And the ambitions of the industry, the army, the military, the air force, all of that can then be brought together hopefully through this kind of a mechanism. And there's another mechanism that a gentleman here had mentioned in clause which the US has been following. So perhaps it can be modeled in that kind of a fashion. And those are all options that are there. But clearly what's coming out is there is a need for such a body which will then take care of all these requirements, not just as a one-off seminar basis, but on a continuous basis, so that we have what we desire to have. With that, I'll take a quote from Sun Tzu. It says that the only strategy and no tactics will lead to partial success. But with only tactics and no strategy is a sure path to failure. If you're simply developing technologies without a bigger path, without a bigger roadmap, without a bigger strategy, you will not be reaching anywhere. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your passionate listening to all that we've been talking about. Thank you so much.